6. The undeclared medical device denial. Bringing your CPAP or oxygen machine on board without a special needs form can end your cruise at the pier. Many seniors treat their medical devices as routine luggage. They've used them for years, so they assume they can just walk onto a Carnival or NCL ship and plug them in. This assumption is a massive financial risk. Cruise ships have strictly regulated electrical grids. If you bring a device that hasn't been cleared by the medical department, the port agent can actually deny you boarding for safety reasons. Even if you make it on board, you might find the cabin doesn't have the correct distilled water or the proper extension cords. I saw a cruiser forced to pay $150 for medical-grade distilled water and a safety-certified cord rental because they didn't request them 60 days in advance. Most cruisers think they can wing it because it's their own equipment, but the ship is a controlled environment. If you don't follow the protocol, you are just inconvenienced. You might be fined or forced to pay for onboard medical rentals that cost triple the price of what you have at home. The cruise line will not refund you if you are denied boarding for an undeclared hazardous device. Do this instead. Fill out the special needs and accessibility form on the cruise line's website at least 60 days before you're sailing to guarantee free distilled water and cord setup. 7. Missing the 48-hour refund window. Waking up with a headache on port day can cost you $500 if you booked through the ship. Shore excursions are the biggest profit center for cruise lines, and they have some of the strictest cancellation policies on the planet. For many seniors, physical health can be unpredictable from one day to the next. Imagine you've booked a $250 per person catamaran and snorkel tour in Cozumel. You've been looking forward to it for months. But that morning, your back is acting up or you're feeling a bit seasick. If you go to the shore excursions desk that morning to cancel, they will tell you no. Most lines require 24 to 48 hours notice for a refund. If you miss that window, that $500 is gone, regardless of your medical reason. The cruise line has already paid the local operator, and they aren't going to take the loss for your bad back. Most passengers think the cruise line will be understanding because they are seniors, but the computer system doesn't have a compassion button. You end up paying for a tour you didn't take, which is the most frustrating way to lose money on a vacation. Do this instead. Book excursions through independent companies like Viator or Shore Excursions Group. They often have 24-hour no questions asked cancellation policies that are much more senior-friendly. 8. The loyalty status financial myth. Being a diamond or elite member does not protect your bank account in an emergency. There is a dangerous psychological trick that happens when you reach high-tier loyalty status. You start to feel like the cruise line is your family and that they will take care of you if something goes wrong. I've seen longtime NCL and Princess cruisers skip travel insurance because they felt their platinum status gave them some sort of invisible protection. This is a myth. Loyalty status gets you a free bag of laundry, a cheaper internet package, and a 10% discount on a spa treatment. It does not cover a $50,000 helicopter evacuation or a last-minute cancellation. I once met a couple who had sailed 30 times with one line. When the husband had a stroke 2 days before sailing, the line said, "We value your loyalty, but the $8,000 fare is non-refundable." Most passengers think they are special to the cruise line, but to the accounting department, you are just a booking number. Relying on loyalty instead of legal protection is a gamble that rarely pays off for seniors. Don't let a free cocktail party trick you into leaving your retirement fund exposed. Do this instead. Separate your perks from your protection. Always buy a dedicated travel insurance policy regardless of how many cruises you've taken with the line. 9. Cruise line protection versus independent plans. The Easy Click insurance offered during checkout is designed to protect the cruise line, not you. When you are booking your trip, there's always that tempting box. Add cruise protection for $199. It's convenient, it's integrated, and it sounds official. But for seniors, these plans are often a financial trap. Here is the catch. Most cruise line protection plans don't pay you back in cash if you cancel for a non-covered reason. They pay you in future cruise credit, FCC. I knew an 82-year-old traveler who had to cancel her cruise due to her husband's declining health. The cruise line gave her $5,000 in FCC, but the credit expired in 12 months. Because her husband's health never improved, she couldn't use the credit, and the $5,000 simply vanished. If she had used independent insurance, She would have received a check in the mail that she could have used for medical bills or home care. Most passengers think all insurance is the same, but independent policies, like Allianz or TravelGuard, are almost always superior for seniors. They offer higher medical coverage limits, and, most importantly, they pay out in actual money. Cruise line plans are essentially store credit, and store credit is useless if you can no longer visit the store. Do this instead. Always decline the cruise line's protection, and use a site like Insure My Trip to compare independent policies that pay back in cash. 10. The foreseeable medical denial. Mistake number 10 is the nightmare that ruins more senior vacations than anything else: the pre-existing condition investigation. Most people think that if a doctor says they are too sick to travel, the insurance has to pay. On a cruise, that is simply not true. Cruise lines and their preferred insurers distinguish between unexpected emergencies and foreseeable conditions. If you have a chronic issue, like back pain, sciatica, or a heart condition, and it flares up before your trip, the insurance company will perform a medical records look-back. They will check your doctor's visits for the 60 to 180 days before you bought the policy. If they find you saw a doctor for that same issue, they will label it foreseeable and deny your claim entirely. I've seen a $10,000 claim denied because the passenger had a routine checkup for the same condition 4 months earlier. Most cruisers don't realize that standard insurance is a minefield for anyone with a medical history. You think you're covered, but the fine print is designed to exclude the very conditions you are most likely to struggle with. This is why seniors often feel scammed by insurance companies when they need them most. The only way to bypass this investigation is to have a specific type of coverage that most people don't know exists. Do this instead. Always pay the extra 10% for a cancel for any reason CFAR rider, which guarantees a refund regardless of your medical history or pre-existing status. 1. The non-refundable fare trap. Saving a few $100s up front is the fastest way to lose thousands later. Cruise lines love to advertise non-refundable fares as a best value option. To many seniors, this seems like a no-brainer. You know you're going, you've planned it for a year, so why pay an extra $300 for flexibility? But here's the catch that most passengers miss until it's too late. Think about Bill and Susan, a couple who booked a high-end balcony suite on a 2025 Royal Caribbean sailing. They saved $350 by choosing the non-refundable rate. 10 days before the ship sailed, Bill had a sudden gout flare-up that made walking impossible. When Susan called to move the date or get a refund, the cruise line pointed to the fine print. Because they chose this savings rate, the line kept 100% of their $6,000 fare. They didn't just lose the $350 they saved, they lost the entire vacation. The truth is, as we get older, the statistical probability of a health change or a family emergency increases. Saving a small amount on the deposit creates a massive liability. Most cruisers think they are being smart with their budget, but they are actually gambling with their entire investment. On a non-refundable fare, the cruise line owns your money the second you hit confirm. Do this instead. Always opt for the refundable fare if you are over 60, as the peace of mind is worth far more than the minor discount. 2. The 14-day insurance blind spot. Your travel insurance is likely useless if you didn't buy it the same week you booked your trip. Most seniors view travel insurance as a safety net they can buy whenever they feel like it, usually right before final payment. However, there is a hidden look-back period that ruins thousands of claims every year. Most policies only cover pre-existing conditions if you purchase the insurance within 10 to 14 days of your initial deposit. I recently spoke with a cruiser who had controlled blood pressure for years. He bought insurance 3 months after booking his cruise. While at sea, his pressure spiked, requiring a $20,000 medical evacuation. The insurance company denied the claim entirely. Why? Because he hadn't bought the policy in that critical 14-day window. His blood pressure was classified as a pre-existing condition. He was left with a $20,000 bill that his standard Medicare wouldn't touch. Most passengers think they are covered as long as they have a policy, but the timing is everything. If you wait until you feel a symptom to buy insurance, you've already lost. The insurance companies are looking for any reason to deny a high-cost senior claim, and the purchase date is the first thing they check. Do this instead. Purchase an independent travel insurance policy within 10 days of your first deposit to ensure every pre-existing condition is fully covered. 3. Dynamic currency conversion. The ship's computer is lying to you when it asks if you want to pay in U.S. dollars. This is one of the most common invisible traps on international sailings, and it targets seniors who prefer the comfort of seeing familiar numbers. When you use your credit card at the guest services desk or a port terminal in Europe or the Caribbean, the machine will offer to convert the price for your convenience. It sounds helpful, doesn't it? But here's the insider secret. When the ship does the math, they apply a dynamic currency conversion fee that is often 5% to 8% higher than the actual exchange rate. On a 12-day Mediterranean cruise with a $2,000 onboard bill, you could easily lose $160 just for the privilege of seeing the bill in USD. Your bank at home already does this conversion for free and at a much better rate. Most passengers think they are avoiding foreign transaction fees by choosing USD, but the opposite is true. You are paying a massive premium for a calculation your smartphone can do in 2 seconds. Over the course of a full retirement of cruising, this convenience can cost you thousands in lost value. Do this instead. Always choose to pay in the local currency, euros, pounds, or pesos, and let your credit card company handle the conversion at the standard market rate. 4. The accessible cabin reassignment. The perfect room you booked for your mobility needs can be taken away without your permission. Many seniors book accessible or modified cabins not because they use a wheelchair, but because they appreciate the extra grab bars and the walk-in shower. They assume that once a cabin number is assigned, it's theirs. But there is a priority policy buried in the contract. Cruise lines reserve the right to reassign an accessible cabin to a passenger with a greater medical need, typically a full-time wheelchair user, right up until the day of sailing. I've seen travelers who use a cane or a walker arrive at the port only to find they've been moved to a standard, cramped cabin because someone else needed the bars more. Now, they are stuck in a room where their walker doesn't fit through the door, and they are forced to pay for an upgrade just to get a room they can move in. Most cruisers think booking early guarantees their room, but accessible status is a floating variable for the cruise line's logistics team. If you are moved, you rarely get a refund for the inconvenience. This can turn a relaxing trip into a week of physical struggle and unexpected costs for room service when you say and navigate the cabin. Do this instead. If you have a specific mobility requirement, have your travel agent mark your booking as medical necessity, do not reassign, and provide a doctor's note to the special needs department. 5. The Internet Safety Upsell. Buying the premium internet package is often a $200 donation to the cruise line. During the boarding process, staff are trained to frame connectivity as a safety issue. They'll ask, "What if your grandkids need to reach you?" Or "Don't you want to see photos of the family?" For seniors, this emotional appeal is highly effective. Many people spend $25 to $30 a day for the Stream and Surf package, thinking it will work just like their Wi-Fi at home. The reality is that satellite internet at sea is notoriously unreliable. I know a grandmother who paid $210 for a week of premium internet specifically to video call her family. The connection was so laggy that the calls dropped every 30 seconds, and photos took 10 minutes to load. She spent over $200 for a service that was effectively useless, and the fine print says speeds are not guaranteed, so she couldn't get a refund. Most passengers think they need constant access, but you are paying a massive premium for a low-quality connection. You are on vacation to disconnect, yet the cruise line profits by making you feel anxious about being offline. Do this instead. Buy the basic social package for $10 a day to check emails, and wait until you are in port to use free high-speed Wi-Fi at a local cafe. 11. The Cruise Airfare Control Trap. Letting the cruise line book your flights is a convenience that can strip you of your rights. Programs like Air2C or Carnival Air are marketed as a safety net. They promise that if your flight is delayed, the ship will wait or they'll get you to the next port. This sounds like a dream for seniors who hate travel stress. But here is the reality of the control trap. When the cruise line books your airfare, they are using bulk or consolidator tickets. These tickets have the lowest priority in the airline system. If a flight is canceled, the airline will rebook their direct customers first, leaving the cruise passengers for last. I saw a group of seniors rebooked on a grueling 3-stop flight that arrived 2 days late. They missed the first 2 ports and $1,500 worth of their vacation time. Because the cruise line eventually got them to the ship, they weren't entitled to a refund for the lost days. Most passengers think they are buying protection, but they are actually surrendering their ability to choose better flight times or more direct routes. You are stuck with whatever bottom-tier seat the cruise line finds for you. Do this instead. Book your own airfare directly with the airline and arrive at the port city at least 24 hours before the ship sails. A $150 hotel room is much cheaper than missing 2 days of a 4,000 cruise. 12. The last night account review. Waiting until the final morning to check your bill is a guaranteed way to lose $100 or more. Cruise lines typically slip a paper statement under your door on the final night of the cruise. For many seniors, this is the first time they actually look at their spending. But here's the catch. By the time you see that $85 accidental laundry charge or the $40 extra gratuity, it's 6 a.m. on disembarkation day. The line at guest services is already 50 people deep with angry passengers. If you have a flight to catch or a shuttle waiting, you don't have the time to stand in line for an hour to dispute a mistake. Most people just sigh, pay the bill, and leave. The cruise line effectively wins by making the dispute process so inconvenient that you'd rather lose the money than miss your flight. Most passengers think the billing system is perfect, but ghost charges happen all the time, especially at busy bars and spas. If you aren't vigilant, you are essentially giving the cruise line a tip they didn't earn. Do this instead. Use the cruise ship's mobile app to check your account balance every night before you go to bed. It takes 30 seconds to catch an error when guest services has zero line. 13. Overpurchasing drink packages. The daily drink package is a math problem that most seniors are destined to lose. Cruise lines like NCL and MSC push their drink packages hard because they are pure profit. To break even on a standard $100 per day package, you and everyone in your cabin have to drink at least 6 to 8 cocktails or high-end glasses of wine every single day. For many seniors, this is physically exhausting. I know a couple who bought the premium package for a 10-day cruise. By day 4, they were dehydrated and spent the rest of the trip drinking water and tea. They effectively paid $1,400 for a few glasses of Chardonnay and some sparkling water. The cruise line knows that while you might win the math on day 1, by day 7, the house always wins. Furthermore, if you are on medication that reacts with alcohol, you are literally paying for a package that could make you sick. Most passengers think they are saving money by going all-inclusive, but unless you are a heavy, consistent drinker, you are overpaying by hundreds of dollars. The cruise line counts on your vacation brain to ignore the actual cost per drink. Do this instead. Pay for your drinks individually, a la carte. Even at $15 a drink, you'll likely spend 50% less than the cost of the daily package. 14. The $50 cruise shuttle scam. The official cruise shuttle is often the most expensive and slowest way to get to the airport. When you are booking your return trip, the cruise line will offer a seamless transfer for $35 to $55 per person. For a couple, that's $100 for a 30-minute ride. But here's what they don't tell you. The shuttle is a 50-passenger bus. You have to wait until every seat is filled before it leaves the pier. I've seen seniors sit on a hot bus for 90 minutes while the driver waits for one last family. Meanwhile, dozens of taxis and Ubers are lined up right outside the terminal. In ports like Miami or Fort Lauderdale, an Uber costs about $25 total for the entire car and leaves the second you get in. Most passengers think the official shuttle is safer, but it's actually just a massive bottleneck. You are paying double the price to sit in a crowded bus and potentially risk missing your flight because of the wait time. This is a classic convenience tax that targets people who are afraid of navigating a local city. Do this instead. Walk past the shuttle line and take a local taxi or rideshare. It's faster, cheaper, and much more comfortable for your back and legs. 15. The free seminar sales funnel. The free wellness seminar in the Daily Planner is actually a high-pressure sales pitch in disguise. Cruise ships are masters of the information-to-invoice pipeline. They offer free foot clinics, skincare masterclasses, or art investment auctions that look like educational activities for a sea day. For seniors, these are a major financial trap. I saw a gentleman attend a free back pain seminar where a specialist told him his shoes were the problem. Within 20 minutes, he had been pressured into buying $800 medical-grade custom orthotics. When he got home, he found out his local podiatrist sold the exact same inserts for $60. The art auctions are even worse, selling mass-produced prints at investment prices that have almost zero resale value. Most passengers think they are just killing time with a fun activity, but the presenters are highly trained salespeople who know exactly how to target senior health and financial anxieties. Once you buy something on a ship, returning it is nearly impossible once you've docked. The cruise line makes a massive commission on every orthotic or painting sold. Do this instead. Enjoy the free seminars for the air conditioning and the occasional free glass of champagne, but leave your wallet and your SeaPass card locked in your cabin safe. 16. The paperwork denied boarding. The most expensive mistake is the one that prevents you from even stepping onto the ship. Some international itineraries, especially in 2025, require specific digital health visas, declaration of health forms, or specific types of travel authorization, like the ESHAs in Europe. If these aren't perfectly filled out, the port agent is legally required to deny you boarding. This is the ultimate financial nightmare. Because it is considered passenger noncompliance, the cruise line will not refund a single penny of your $4,000 cruise. I recently saw a couple at the terminal who had forgotten to print a specific PDF required by a small Caribbean island on their route. Despite their pleas and their 20 years of loyalty, the agent turned them away. They lost the cruise fare, their flights, and their hotel costs. Nearly $7,000 gone in an instant because of one missing piece of paper. Most seniors assume the cruise line will alert them if something is missing, but the responsibility is 100% on you. The rules change constantly, and what worked on your cruise last year might not work today. This is the zero refund trap that targets anyone who isn't obsessively checking the latest travel requirements. Do this instead. Call the cruise line exactly 14 days before you're sailing and ask the specific question: is there any physical or digital document I am missing that would prevent me from boarding this ship? Cruising is hands down the best way to see the world as you get older, but you have to remember that cruise lines are businesses first. They rely on you falling for these 16 traps to keep their profit margins high. By staying informed, checking your account daily, and buying independent insurance, you can save thousands and ensure your retirement savings go toward your next adventure, not the cruise line's bottom line. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more insider cruise secrets. Comment below, which of these mistakes was the most surprising to you? Next, watch 12 things banned on cruise ships in 2025 to make sure you don't get sent to the naughty room on your next sailing.